Hey there to our 179 subscribers, our future subscribers, and all the people that secretly watch us without subscribing. I had an idea, and it's not going to work out exactly how I wanted it to, because I decided to let AI interview me for a video, but it did it in text and it can't do it in voice. And I don't want to switch to a different AI because I want to use the AI that knows me the best, so it knows stuff about me. Because generally, when you get interviewed, the person interviewing you knows you or knows about you. So I'm just gonna have to read to you what it said and then answer the questions. Okay, so I went with ChatGPT in my room. I have like 3 different accounts on different devices, but. So ChatGPT said, "Hello, Stephanie Hoover. Thanks for agreeing to this interview, even if you kind of made me do it. Let's get started." So the first thing that AI asked me, it said, "What's the very first thing you remember creating that made you think, this is what I love?" So the first thought that came to mind when I was doing the interview was a 100-page story I wrote. And I was in middle school, and my English teacher told all the kids that they needed to pick whatever their project was for the year. And it had to be something that would take them the full school year to work on. And I told her I wanted to write a 100-page story. And she argued with me and told me no, and that wasn't possible. And I wouldn't be able to get it done. And she didn't want me to put myself under too much stress trying to get too much done or whatever. And after arguing quite a bit, I told her that's what I wanted to do and that I could do it. She finally let me do it, and I wrote the story, and I stopped it at the end of page 100, mid-sentence, mid-thought, and turned it in. And she was a little upset because she never found out how the story was going to end, but she wanted to enter it into a national literary contest, and I wasn't ready to share it, and so unfortunately I threw it away to keep other people from reading it, and so yeah, that's the thing. And then ChatGPT says, "Do you think your decision to throw it away was more about not feeling ready, or was it kind of defiance, like you didn't believe in me, so now no one gets it? And do you ever think about rewriting that story now?" So I was really shy back then, and my dad always pointed out my flaws and everything I did. He told me I did it wrong. And so the idea of people reading my work, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And yeah, I wish I still had the story so I could rewrite it. I only remember bits and pieces of it though, so I sprinkle the parts I remember into the other books that I write. So then ChatGPT asked me, "Do you think that experience, being discouraged but finishing it anyway, shaped how you view limits and creative freedom now?" And so yeah, absolutely. I've always been offended when people tell me I can't do something, which is probably at least part of the reason I start projects that end up feeling like too much. I get a little carried away, but I always finish them, no matter how long it takes, to prove to myself that I can do it. I didn't know until I was in my 30s that my dad knew this about me, and that was part of the reason that he always told me I couldn't do things. It was his way of indirectly pushing me to do things. So then ChatGPT asked me, "So you've been proving people wrong your whole life, but also proving yourself right. When you look back at everything you've created, what's something you're proud of that most people wouldn't realize took a ton of effort?" I would have to say the worlds I create. I like to know everything I can before I start writing. So for example, the young adult book I created, not only did I create individual characters, I planned their families with family trees. I created a photo album so I could see everybody I was writing about. I designed the buildings in the town and the entire town layout. For the adult book I created, it was 4 friends going on vacation, so I didn't really need like the family trees so much, but I still put a lot of effort into the characters, including pictures of what they looked like. I designed a neighborhood they visited, a boat they traveled on, 2 islands they visited. I researched things about boats, oceans, islands, volcanoes, earthquakes, and even stories of Atlantis and some mythical aspects. Then ChatGPT asked me, do you enjoy the research of world building more than the actual writing? Or is it the writing that finally lets you live in the world you created? And my response was, I wouldn't say I enjoy one part more than the other. I love being able to complete one part of a project, then the next part feels like a reward. But I do love researching and finding ways to share my research with people. Then ChatGPT asked me, you've built quite a presence on YouTube. What's one moment from your video making journey, funny, frustrating, or surprising, that really sticks out? And just a side note here, I'm not really sure why it said I built quite a presence on YouTube. I'm not really sure what its definition is of a presence. So that aside, I'm always surprised about which videos do the best. Sometimes I'll research for a video and get almost no views, but then my most viewed video is my oldest daughter walking down the street with me talking about the town, no planning at all. Then ChatGPT asked me, do you think that that experience has changed how you approach content, or do you just keep doing what feels right? So I try to do mostly whatever I'm in the mood for, while trying to include whatever people tell me they're interested in. I have a list of categories I make videos for, and for a while I created a video in every category every month, except for 3 categories which I only did quarterly. But I got off track 2 years ago because life had some major shifts in it. And now I just do what works and feels right, but I am trying to get back on track a little bit. I know it's not going to be as much as I was doing before, but I'm going to try. It's just that with schooling and everything, I got to kind of balance stuff. Then ChatGPT asked me, you've been through major life shifts and still keep creating. What do you think drives you to keep making these things even when everything else feels chaotic and overwhelming? I try to remember my reason for making my channel and the reasons I created that schedule in the first place. I want to entertain and or educate as many people as possible. It's like with my first book, I decided to write the specific book because people were always asking me for advice on how to deal with people and situations in life. And I wrote the book super short and simple to understand so more people could benefit from it. Then ChatGPT asked me, do you think your drive to help others comes from your own experience of feeling misunderstood or overlooked? So maybe a little bit. I don't think anybody really knew me growing up because I was always worried about saying or doing the wrong thing. I was always expected to do everything perfect. I was even put into something called the GATE program, supposedly to give me more to do. I think I was possibly the youngest one in the program. I for sure felt like an alien in the program and out of it. I never felt like I belonged anywhere, no matter how nicely people treated me. Then ChatGPT asked, if you could talk directly to someone who feels like that, like they're out of place but full of potential, what would you want them to know? So I'd have to say, if you really enjoy doing something, keep doing it. Don't worry about what other people will think. Most of these people won't even be in your life 20 years from now. And being able to have something tangible from when your interest first started would be an amazing feeling. Then ChatGPT decided to ask me multiple questions. It said it wanted to end it on a lighter note and give me lighthearted and quirky questions. It asked me, you've just been handed a one-way ticket to any fictional world. Where are you going? It asked, what's a weird little talent or skill you have that almost no one knows about? And it asked if your life had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what would it be? Okay, so I'm gonna reference back and forth here, so you guys know what I'm responding to. So for their question about the one-way ticket to any fictional world, I said, let's see, I'm not sure if this is what you mean by fictional world, since it's based around a real place, but I would love to be a part of the show Charmed in real life. Sure, they had their downsides, but being able to help people with the powers they had would be amazing. To the question asking about a weird little talent or skill that I have that almost no one knows about, that was a really hard one to answer. But I said I used to be able to figure out how to do absolutely anything I wanted. It's not as easy as it used to be, but I'm still over here trying to learn new things. I think that's why people seem to think I have all the answers when I don't. And then for the last question, when it asked about a theme song that would play every time I walked into a room, I said the theme song is hard. Maybe What a Wonderful Life by Louis Armstrong. Okay, so then ChatGPT said, that's a beautiful pick. Gentle, hopeful, quiet, powerful, just like you. All right, final question. What do you hope people feel after watching the interview? This interview. And I said, I guess I hope that people feel amused, entertained, and comfortable, that maybe there's something about me that inspires them to be who they want to be, and that maybe they see me as a normal person they can relate to in some way. And then ChatGPT said, and you are, Stephanie. Thank you for sharing your story, your heart, and your wonderfully weird talents. Can't wait for the next conversation. Which, right after that, it decided to ask me some other questions, which I will put in a different video, because it was a slightly different interview. So, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and get your friends to do the same thing. And I will be back in a couple of minutes.